Good morning. Today we'll be starting with trigonometry. So trigonometry is a word derived from Greek words trigon and metron. So trigonometry means that measuring the sides of a triangle. So about the history, the subject was originally developed to solve geometric problems involving triangles. And it is studied by sea captains for navigation. It is also used to map out new lands, and it is also used by engineers. And currently, trigonometry is used in many areas such as science of seismology, designing electric circuits, and many other areas. Now let's start with what are angles. So angle is just a measure of rotation. So if I have a line, a ray, and if I rotate it, so imagine this is the ray, and if I rotate it to something, like something, if I rotate it a bit, now this would be the final position, right? I don't want to use the word degree right now because that would be coming later. So this would be the final thing, and this rotation, now when I try to measure it, this thing would be called an angle. So this is called the initial ray that I kept here is known as the initial side. The final thing that we got after rotation, this picture, this ray would be terminal side, and the stationary point here that didn't move is known as the vertex. Now right now I moved it anti-clockwise, right? So the convention that we use is that if you're moving it anti-clockwise, the angle would be positive. If you're moving it clockwise, the angle would be negative. That is just the convention that we use. So let's say if this is plus 60 degree, then this would be minus 60 degree. Now there are several ways to measure an angle. I used the example of degree right now, so I'll be explaining you what is a degree. So you don't have to think that much, it's really simple. If you take a ray and if you rotate it completely and it goes back to its original position, this is 360 degree. So from this you can understand it even further. Like if you want half of this, it would be 180 degree. If you have half of that, it would be 90 degree. And say like if you want 1/3 of this, so divided into 3 equal parts, so just this much, it would be 30 degree. So this is what degrees are. Now each degree, similar to how like you have 3 hours, 20 minutes, 30 seconds on a wall clock. This is a fancy clock that I'm trying to draw. Now similar to this, in a like when you're drawing angles can also be written in a similar way. Say 30 degree, 27 minutes and 28 seconds. So this thing is known as seconds. This marking would tell us this is minute, and degree that we already know. So what minutes and seconds are in the context of degree is like 1 degree would be equal to 60 minutes, 1 minute would be equal to 60 seconds. So this is the conversion that we can use to change minutes and seconds back to degrees. Then just like degree, we have another way of measuring angle that is known as a radian. So just like in degree, we had an initial ray, we rotated it back to the original thing, and this whole thing is 2 pi radians. So this is also a way that we write angles. And now I'll tell you a relation between degree and radian. So as you have noticed, one whole rotation is 360 degree and one whole rotation is 2 pi radian. So this is like this. So let me ask you a question. If I have half of this 180 degree, so how many radians would that be? So many of you would be able to guess that it would be equal to pi radian. So this thing here is pi. And you're right, that is the right answer. Now if I ask you what 1 degree would be, so you might be able to say that it would be like 1/80th part of a pi, and you're right again. So this is how you convert degree to radian and radian to degree. Now what if I ask you, like, I got 1 degree into pi, like 1 degree into how many radians? Now how many degrees would be in 1 radian? So you can use this notation, a small c on top of it, to say this is radian. Okay, so 1 radian is how many degrees? 360 degree was 2 pi radian. That means 2 pi radian was 360 degrees. Now the reason I'm writing it like this is, pi radian would be how many degrees? 180 degrees. And 1 radian would be just like what you did here. You might be able to say that it's 180 by pi degree, and that is right. 1 radian is equal to 180 by pi degrees. You can change it back and forth now according to what you need, but this is the basic thing.